Today's episode of the ReadPile is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/nerdupmedia. Over 150,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
I'm Elle, and I've got new hair.
And I am the Sussman, Rick Sussman, and I gave a lot of blood today, and by God, they called me a hero. So I am the HeroMan, Rick Sussman. She's not impressed. You are watching the ReadPile.
It's the week of May 20th, and here's some comic book news you can use. Comic book news.
Not
You. It's not the Rick show. No, you wouldn't.
It is the Rick show.
Hard to tell the difference.
First, a bit of an apology. Last week's episode uploaded at a staggering 11 hours and was almost late. Sorry. Also, YouTube felt the need to add an extra 10 minutes of dead air. For those of you who sat through that extra 10 minutes, I apologize. I don't really know what happened, but I'm trying to make sure it doesn't happen again. So, little pin in that note. The reason why I'm mentioning this, I ain't got much news this week, Elle. Which is fine, because it's leading up, obviously, to us going to Omni Expo, and we'll cover that, but that's obviously going to be the big news, is that, well, we might as well just mention it now. I mean, you should know by now.
Yeah, there's that info.
Nerd Up Media will be at Omni Expo at the Rosen Center this Saturday, the 23rd of May at 3 p.m.
Yup.
Shilling out of the way, apologies out of the way. So this is all I got. Don't hurt me, okay? Robert Kirkman has been tapped to be one of the writers in the upcoming Trasnformers movies.
I don't know how I feel about that. I really
It's
don't.
a nothing. It's kind of a nothing. Like, there's a couple of articles about it. How would you feel about the Walking Dead Transformers?
I've given up on watching any Transformer movies. I want nothing to do with them anymore.
And with good
it's
reason.
cool that they're gonna do a different person. I don't know. It's not that he's directing; he's just writing.
He's just writing it.
So it's probably the same freak.
Michael Bay is directing it. Yeah. Steven Spielberg will be producing it. Michael Bay.
Explosions!
But maybe there'll be like plot.
You know what?
Yeah.
They should get together to do a Walking Dead episode. Be like, explosions!
Just walking to zombies.
Just zombies everywhere. Just...
Not a lot of news this week.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
It's
it
okay.
happened.
It was a slow news week. We do have a lot of comics to review, though. You want to just start reviewing some books?
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
Comic book reviews. I am going to start with Valhalla Mad. It's pretty terrible. Okay, to sum it up. Basically, they took the idea of Thor and his buddies coming back to Earth, and they were referring to a battle that they helped with 40 years ago, and now they have come back in celebration of something, and they are jumping from tavern to tavern to drink and drink and drink, and you're starting to discover that the people that were around for that battle are remembering these guys, and they're like, thanks for leaving the place a mess. We really didn't appreciate what you did. And they're like, oh yeah, but we fought a great battle. We helped you out. And so basically, this writer, I guess, wanted to say, so what if like Thor was a jerk? And he was drunk, and he was just ready to party or something. I don't know. Maybe there's more to it. And it sounds like towards the end of it, maybe there is more to it. But I don't care, because the entire issue was just so drawn out to, I don't know, some kind of a joke that I just can't get on board with it. I can't. I don't know. I think I would rather go and actually read Thor than to read this. So, moving on. Another. Convergence. Wonder Woman. It's the second one. So, I don't know if it really clarified about what was happening in Wonder Woman Convergence, because it was pretty obvious It was pretty obvious on the internet already, and I kind of didn't want to say the big news about it, but hey, guess what? She's fighting vampires. The other world that she's having to fight against is vampire villains. You have Joker and Poison Ivy, and then Catwoman. That's a thing. And just the idea of the storyline makes my brain hurt. I love Wonder Woman, and they ruined her character with this story. It's absolutely ridiculous, and a couple sad things happen at the end. I mean, obviously we're coming to the end of the whole Convergence thing, and so you have a person that comes on top, the winner, and it's going to be obvious who the winner is. But I understand that it was supposed to be a different world, but vampires? Okay. Alright. It's over now. It's over now. It's okay. It's over. Whew. Something new in the pile again. So, I read about this, just a little brief thing on the internet before I added to the read pile of mine, and I was pretty intrigued. I really wanted to know more about this character, but it is Dirk Gently, and basically he is referred to as the Holistic Detective Agency, and it's a very interesting read. It's not too slow. It kind of gets you in there, like, hey, here's this guy, and they can throw him into where he's already on a case. He's actually in a case so much that I don't know if he really knows he is. Is he so intelligent and he totally knows what's going on that it looks like he's just kind of fallen into all of the answers? Or is he just that clumsy and ridiculous and this guy is just absurd and somehow just comes out on top? I don't know. I want to know more. I want to know. I gotta know. I need to know, is this guy really this ridiculous? Is he cheesy? Or is he just really intelligent? I don't know. I can't really quite tell you if I like this or not. I don't know yet. I need to read the next one. But my pick of the week. The title will throw you off because it was insufferable.
It's an autobiography.
It was, I'll be honest, it wasn't overly fantastic. But the story has me so intrigued. I know it's going to build. And basically you have this team that was together and they separated for reasons. We're starting to learn those reasons. And it relates to Batman and Robin in a way, just because it is a father-son. They were a team. They had differences, pulled apart. But you're seeing where it's become a very negative way. And one is actually attacking towards the other one's just, he looks like he's worn down. He's tired of all this, but he's still in the game. And you're starting to figure out things that maybe have, or maybe they did, I don't know, or we're going to figure out what happened really between them. And some of the things that may have happened that we're starting to hint at is a little nuts. But I think it makes for a very interesting read. So, very happy to have this on my read pile. I look forward to the next issue. And I don't know, it definitely raised my interest. Maybe I might try out some more stuff from this guy. In the meantime, we will see what Rick has to say.
Alright, Elle. Well, the name you were searching for, by the way, is Mark Waid. You might remember he wrote Irredeemable. Anyway, I had quite quite the substantial week again this week, but that's because I kept adding books to my read pile, even though I didn't need to. I'm really getting into this whole Marvel Comics, Secret Wars, the end of everything kind of stuff. But more importantly, I have a long-standing internet friendship with Brian Michael Bendis. I met him at MegaCon 100 million years ago. He signed a couple of copies of Jinx for me. We talked. Since then, I've always sort of been a fan of his and all the things he does. So when I saw that Scotty Young did a variant cover for Ultimate End #1 that actually features Brian Michael Bendis dropping the mic on the Ultimate Universe, I had to pick it up. I read it, even as somebody who has not been reading Ultimate Comics this entire time, I still was able to figure out what was going on. I really enjoyed it. I recommend it to anyone who may be interested in following along, or just really wants an adorable cover. Similar but different, we have the next issue of UFOlogy from James Tyrion IV. I went over that on Twitter, so again, if you're not following us on Twitter, you should be. You ready? Let's do this. 4 books for the official ReadPile. Starting with Trees, It's a Magic Number. Make that joke every time. When last we met Trees by Warren Ellis, issue 8 had debuted some months ago, and everything blew up like the 4th of July. It was all dead. Well, I forgot that Trees was on my sub. Issue 9 is more of the same. It's not bad, it's by no means terrible, and no, I will not be taking it off my pull list, but it is one of those books that I'm just sort of reading without a lot of care. The first 2 or 3 issues were great, and I wanted more and more, but that's the problem when a book takes a hiatus, man. You gotta come back with a vengeance, or the people may not come back to you, and that's just how I felt it happen. It just wasn't that great. So, speaking of a book that is back with a vengeance and is wrapping up, actually, we have Satellite Sam. This is issue 14 of, I guess, issue 15, since it will conclude next issue. I thought we were already there, but in this issue, we see Michael cleaning up his father's mess once and for all. We could sort of see where the end result of all of these characters is going, and it's been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this, both for the historical accuracy and because when Howard Chaykin is drawing humans, regular humans, not like superhumans or anything, I think he has some of the best artwork in the world, and I've really been enjoying this book for the art, which I know a lot of people will look at Howard Chaykin art and say, oh, that's terrible, but for me, it's almost perfect. He draws women so well, and the focal point of this book is the illusion and the alluring of women. So it was really great, great art and great writing. I recommend picking up Satellite Sam if you haven't already. But we must continue with another kind of funny book. Spawn, number 252. As you can see, it should be up here by now, or will be. It is, quote, the new 252, which I thought was hilarious that they actually went and put that on there. This is continuing the story of the return of Al Simmons by our friend Paul Jenkins. This is Spawn, guys. This is what I remember as a kid. This is why I'm reading it, is because it's Al. It's Al being Al, and he's got a mystery to solve, and there are demons and Malbolgias, and Al learns the truth about his suit and why it's connected to him and how it never leaves him, and damn, it's good stuff. If you grew up in the 90s, or if you want to get into Spawn and maybe you don't want to read 250 previous issues, I don't blame you, that's fine. Start at issue 251 with Paul Jenkins, or start at Spawn Resurrection. You should still be able to find Spawn Resurrection and 251, and obviously 252 debuted this week. It's what I always wanted Spawn to be, and it's back again, and I truly love it. But it is not my pick of the week. So let's get the graphics spun up. Graphic. Okay, this is not that difficult. It's Witches. It's Witches number 6. I think that's all 6 issues. I think every issue was my pick of the week. I can't remember. It's not the end of the series. That's the big news. Jacques tweeted out an image of this a couple of weeks ago, saying that he had gotten his issues in, and that it completed the first arc, and I said, oh, it's only the first arc, and sure enough, it really is. There is a lot more to this story than we initially thought, and I am super excited about it. Sailor, her story, her dad's story, her mother's story, what being pledged really truly means and does, all of these things, everything is explained. And that's why I love Snyder so much, is he will explain to you, he will tell you the answer. I've said this on 100 different shows about 100 different comics throughout my life. I don't care what the answer to the question is. Why are trees eating people? Well, we find out in Witches. You might not appreciate the answer, but it's an answer. And I love when artists give me that. And whenever an artist or a writer gives me an answer, I gotta make it my pick of the week. For you, our loyal followers of the ReadPile, we have an awesome offer from Audible.com. Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their awesome service. You can download some really great books like The Hobbit, the unabridged version from Tolkien. You can download Divergent, Lean In, lots of great stuff to check out. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/nerdupmedia. Again, that's audibletrial.com/nerdupmedia for your free audiobook.
That's this week for the ReadPile. Rick.
We already mentioned it, but we should mention it again. Omni Expo this weekend. Omni
Yes.
Expo, the graphic should have popped up by now. It's not as fancy. Jesse is away. He may or may not be having his 7th kid. We'll find out. But the graphic should pop up.
Well, I would like
Oh!
to thank somebody.
Go ahead.
You know, because you're so modest about it.
Nah.
I would like to thank you
Me?
for donating blood today.
Oh!
It was a good thing.
I'm a
It
hero.
was a good thing. I know he's joking about it, but he really hasn't made a big deal about it. It is. It's a big deal, and I think it's great, and I think if you have the opportunity to donate blood, do it. I mean, we lucked out. It was 5 feet away from
The Fortress of
where we were
Nerditude
gonna be
is...
filming today.
The Fortress of Nerditude is very close to the Big Red Bus.
Yeah, but, you know, if you find your way there, you know, they will hook you up with some cookies and some juice afterwards. They're not going to just send you out to wobble away. So, you know, it's a good thing.
See,
if
you
you find
tune
yourself in a position you can do it, do it.
You tune into the ReadPile for your comic book news and honest reviews, and what you end up with is some honest facts about life. And one of those is you should give blood and help others.
Give blood, yes. It'll be fine, you know. They're not going to take it from you if they can't. They're going to test you first, don't worry. Apparently I couldn't today. They denied me.
We hope you've enjoyed this week's afternoon special of the ReadPile. I think it's time for Elle to take her medication. See you guys. Alright, so Elle didn't believe me that I know Brian Bendis and that he signed a bunch of stuff for me. So I went and I tracked down my big volume of Jinx here. This is Brian Michael Bendis' Jinx, and look, right there, there's the autograph. So there's proof positive.
Whatever.
Nothing pleases you.
Yeah.